hit a little bit down the building around the 50th or 60th floor. Again, it struck flush into the south side of the South World Trade Center building.
Americans were devastated by the losses created by the international terrorist attack. 9/11 showed what Islamic terrorists could do, killing 2,996 people.
After 9/11, the Bush administration commissioned a series of reports, or they did this group called the 9/11 Commission. And they produced actually a really rigorous account of what went wrong.
And one of the main conclusions was that the different government agencies within the United States aren't talking to each other enough. And so DHS was established as sort of an umbrella organization to create better oversight and communication.
The DHS was also made to directly respond to the issues that led to 9/11.
In the wake of terrorist attacks, law enforcement and other agencies have a strong incentive to demonstrate to the citizens that they're responding to attacks.
New laws and security measures were put into place to make sure another atrocity like 9/11 would never happen again.
Airport security measures were directly responsive to certain kinds of attacks and attempted attacks by extremists in the post 9/11 period. There was this one incident where a chap tried to smuggle onto a plane, or succeeded in smuggling onto a plane, sticks of dynamite in his shoes. And so that was when, it was after that we all had to take off our shoes when we were going through airport security.
It wasn't only physical impacts that airport security had on the American people.
Terrorism has an oversized impact on people's lives in the sense that, by its very definition, it instills fear, it instills terror in the broader public. That in some ways DHS reduces fear, and in other ways it has the opposite effect. The DHS often releases bulletins, statements to the general public, which can actually have the opposite effect by stoking fear, by telling Americans that the terrorism threat appears to, be peaking, and that we need to be, on the lookout for all sorts of kinds of terrorists.
However, the Department of Homeland Security wasn't only taking a defensive position. The DHS also went on the hunt for terrorists, particularly in Muslim communities.
In the post 9/11 period, we focused probably too much on Islamist or jihadist extremism, and probably not enough on white supremacist or right-wing extremists. In the minds of many people, unfortunately, Islam as a faith became conflated with extremism. I think in the post 9/11 period, many Muslim communities in the United States felt as though they were being stigmatized.
A comparison of these two charts show that the areas with more prevalent and deadly terrorist attacks coincide with areas with anti-mosque incidents. This lets us assume that terrorist attacks cause anti-mosque incidents, leading us to believe that Americans think that terrorists are more commonly Muslim.
The experience of 9/11, I think, for Muslim communities in the United States was in many ways quite traumatic, in many ways impacted their civil liberties, and that, I think, was an unintended consequence of 9/11, and a regrettable one as well.
Even though the way law enforcement approached the prevention of another attack in a way that harmed Muslim communities and created mistrust in the American public, the DHS did have some successes in their mission to reduce terrorism.
But they have succeeded in doing one thing, which is preventing another 9/11.
20 years after the event, not only has the U.S. government succeeded so far in preventing another 9/11 type attack, but the government has also created a balance in prevention of terrorism and still protecting its citizens' rights.
You might think efficacy means a stronger government response, that it's better to increase the number of laws in order to, catch the extremists. But actually, when you look around the world, some of the most incompetent government responses have been cases where the government actually overreacted to the threat. So I actually credit the United States government's response for maintaining its democratic character, its democratic values, without compromising, for example, free speech even as it continues to prioritize the counterterrorism threat.
As the 20th anniversary of 9/11 passes by, Americans are thinking of the progress we have made, creating the DHS and implementing numerous security measures. But we still have more work to do in order to reduce the fear of terrorists and of Muslim people in America.